Welcome to the creepy parlor, where we delve into the dark side with an undercurrent of light-hearted fun. Our discussions will explore gothic, macabre, or creepy topics. The first Tuesday of every month, we will host a haunted happy hour where you can join us for a group conversation that focuses on ghosts, weird events, urban legends, and more. Here at the Creepy Parlor, our subject matter may be spooky, but our spirits are high. You can catch the Creepy Parlor every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on WLFE DB Radio.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Creepy Parlor. I'm Genevieve, and I'm absolutely delighted that you're spending the evening with us tonight. If any of you know me, you know that it's absolutely no secret that I love Halloween. Halloween is an all-year event in our house, and it is just the absolute best time of year, which is why I'm so thrilled to welcome my guest tonight, Mr. Gregory Hallows of the Halloween Preservation Society. So let's welcome him. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So let's hear a little bit about what you do, please.
All right, so I will just get it out there right off the bat. My actual name is Gregory Hallows. That's my real last name. I get that asked a lot. Is that really my name? But yes, it's on my driver's license. I run the Halloween Preservation Society. I'm basically a big nerd about a lot of things, and I love Halloween. And you know, with my last name, I basically have to.
You have to own it, right?
I feel obligated. Yeah, I'm obligated to love Halloween, I guess. But luckily, it's one of my favorite things. I love researching it. I love finding out as much as I can about it. I love meeting people that love Halloween as well. So I just consider it one of those things I'm going to do until I'm not here anymore.
Awesome. And you're leaving behind some wonderful, wonderful artifacts as well.
Yeah, I hope so.
So how long have you been doing this?
I started it officially about 3 years ago. I've always been into Halloween, but I wanted to make it official and kind of start archiving things and taking, records and start collecting this stuff because, like I tell people all the time, a lot of Halloween products are paper and, it's not going to last. So, I want to make sure that there's somebody or something, to be left behind because this stuff is just great. I mean, a lot of it was made to just throw out. And, just to find stuff, I still find things that haven't been opened, which blows my mind.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can continue to do it because, it's getting harder and harder to find things that, aren't going to, make me mortgage my house. So.
Well, I think everybody's very Halloween centric lately. It used to be such a strange thing, like only the weirdos were Halloween oriented. Now I feel like everybody kind of has a little bit of special love in their heart for Halloween.
Oh yeah. And I'm one of those people that, it's like when, nerdy and geeky things became popular. There's a certain segment that was like, well, why do you like it now? It's like, hey, the more people that love this stuff, the better, because then they're going to make more. They're going to, there's going to be more options at Halloween for products because they're going to make money selling it. So that's good for all of us.
And the more, I think the stronger you make the spirit of Halloween, right? Like the more attention we give it, the more energy we put into it, it stays around longer.
Yeah, definitely. And it's fun to teach people that don't know, a lot about Halloween, more, what because it's like, oral traditions, just keep passing them on and they're going to tell somebody and they're going to tell somebody. And next thing you know, like there's that more people that are, love Halloween.
Yeah. Just real quick, I want to say hi to everybody that's been popping up. We've got Jillian, my sister. She successfully shared the post to your Halloween Preservation Society page. Hi, Natalie, Otis, Chris, Ashley. We have Ashley here that says too Too much Halloween is impossible. I agree
Yeah.
100%.
Ashley is one of our society members. She's awesome.
Awesome. Welcome. Hi, Ray. I think I'm missing some people. Dominic, hi. We'll hit some comments up later too.
Cool.
We got Chris. Hi, howdy. And we got another share. Excellent. Keep
Awesome.
sharing, please. So in that vein, one of the things I'm curious about are you more interested in Halloween, like the vintage Halloween stuff, or like predating, like back to like the old Irish Celtic traditions? Like, where's your level of interest?
I mean, everything, honestly. But what I'm drawn to vintage Halloween just because, to me it's more accessible and it's easier to find out, accurate information. The problem I have with researching just historically a lot of times is because, you don't know what, like, it's whatever people write down. That's what you just have to assume is right. And this stuff is so centuries old. How much of it do we still not know? That's the thing that I love to, I've purchased books that hundreds of years old just to see what they say, because it just blows my mind that you can find Halloween, so long ago. But yes, I'm interested in everything about Halloween. I don't ever claim to know or will ever know everything. There's no way. But I always seek out people that are more historical based, because that's one of the things that I want to know more about, because there's so much that we get the basics of it every year, but I want to know more, because there's so much that gets left out when people talk about the history of Samhain and Halloween and the festivals and why it was celebrated in the first place. So I definitely am into all of it, but you see behind me, I'm a vintage guy, so
well, I love like the Victorian Halloween cards and like that art style. Like, I just think it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
It's got such an extreme creep factor too.
Yeah. I love the fruit cards, and like the pumpkin driving the car, and it's so insane. Like, who came up with this? But
I know
it's so good.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. Otis's comment here. My favorite memories are Halloween when I was like 7 to 10 years old. Was always Dracula, Lugosi Dracula. All-time favorite.
That's awesome.
Do you have a favorite Halloween movie? Or I should say, well, we kind of talked about this yesterday. Halloween and horror are two different things.
Yeah, to me, I'm a horror guy. I love horror movies. I love, but I try to make a distinction between horror and Halloween, because there's a lot of things. Like, my favorite Halloween movie is a fairly recent one. It's The House is October Built. It's about, this group of friends that drives around to find the scariest haunted house that they can find. But, I also love Arsenic and Old Lace and Meet Me in St. Louis, and those aren't traditionally Halloween movies, but Meet Me in St. Louis has one of the most accurate portrayals of early Halloween that you could find. It's like those kids are just destroying things. And that's what it was. So, I run the gamut of what I love, and it's, I just like learning. So I'm all about learning as much as I can.
What do you think of Trick or Treat? Did you like that?
I love Trick or Treat. I love Trick or Treat.
Loved every single minute of that movie. And every time we watch it again and again, I'm just like, it's going to happen again.
And I still can't believe it took so long for them finally to release it. Because, it sat on the shelf for years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And finally it got put out. But yeah, Trick or Treat is one of my favorite movies, because they go over, like, these are the rules, don't break them. Yes. And it's so much common sense. So it's like, yeah, don't break the rules. This is what happens.
Don't blow out that candle.
That's right.
I want to go back to Otis's comment. His favorite memories of Halloween were 7 to 10. Do you have a favorite Halloween memory? Like, were you always into Halloween as a kid and stuff?
From what I remember, yes. Because it's one of those weird things you don't really think about it, but Halloween for us, my age, I mean, I'm 45, so I can't remember a time growing up that there wasn't trick or treating. But now, like kids nowadays, they're left out. You don't like. There's a lot of places that just don't do it anymore, which just drives me insane. But
I know.
um, probably my best memory of Halloween. I have a picture. It's up on one of my websites. It's me dressed as the Hulk, but I didn't buy the costume. I painted myself green. I think I had the Hulk Ben Cooper mask, but the rest of my costume was like I shoved a pillow in my shirt to make me look bigger, and I'm just completely painted green. I probably look more like Shrek than anything, but Shrek wasn't around back then. So, but yeah, stuff like that. It's like make your own Halloween. You
Mhm.
know, just make it fun. Keep getting kids involved because nowadays it's become more of an adult thing, and that's just I want the kids to know what they're missing.
Absolutely. And I think, yes, Otis, kids will never know. It is sad. Um, we're having a halfway to Halloween party for my sister next week.
Awesome.
Yeah. But my mom always made our costumes,
Yeah.
like always. Like I remember laying on a white sheet when I was maybe second or third grade. No, probably like first or second grade. And she was cutting around the edges and making me a Princess Leia costume.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like that's to me like just the energy that went into doing that and the care that went into doing that is just those are the best memories.
Yeah, it's so much fun to remember what we did as Halloween kids.
Yeah. I mean, did you have a favorite? The Hulk was your favorite, right? Was that your
I
favorite
think the
costume?
Hulk is my favorite. Like I'm a big Spider-Man guy, but like I don't ever remember dressing up like him.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did, the Hulk and always stuff that like my parents were the same. My mom made my costumes because it was just easier.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I look back at some of the prices of the costumes back then, and they were so like $1, and I'm like,
I
I
know.
wish I had some of those still.
I
Uh,
know.
but it was more fun for us to dress up what we wanted to be,
Yeah.
and just figure it out. Like, all right, well, I need to be green. Okay, paint me green. Or I need to have this costume. Mom, make it. And we just assumed our parents could make anything.
Yeah, absolutely. My
Yeah,
friend Kaylee's commenting here said her kids already mapped out the neighborhood for the best houses for trick or treating. Kaylee is absolutely doing parenting right. You should see
that's
some of
awesome.
her kids' costumes. That she and her own costumes are just magnificent.
Yeah, where I live, it's in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi. I can't get anybody, and I buy full size Snickers bars. I'm like, hey kids, I'll give you multiple ones, but
Yep.
it's just not one of those things.
Natalie's comment here, we talked about this yesterday.
Oh,
It used to be a shock when a house wasn't partaking in Halloween when I was a kid. There was a reason kids back then used pillowcases. I
oh yeah,
absolutely remember always having a pillowcase.
yes. And most kid, if you didn't participate in Halloween, your house got egged,
Yeah. It's not the
so
same
you did
anymore.
it anyway.
Yeah, it's just not the same anymore. I remember, we would leave school and we were never allowed to wear our masks and stuff in school because they were, I guess, a tripping hazard or whatever. And
Yeah.
then on the way home, we'd start trick or treating.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like you're starting before it gets dark, and I don't even remember when I came home most of the time. It's like I know it was pitch dark,
Yeah.
and you got a full bag of candy and you just pass out, and then the
Yep.
next day you're high on sugar, and I can't imagine the teachers back then. They're just like, yeah, we're not doing anything today. Your kids aren't going to listen.
We used to always have English muffin pizzas on Halloween because it was like the quick thing you could run
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
and get back out and start trick or treating again. And then there was like the trading afterwards. You've got like your sack
Oh
of
yeah.
candy and you got to trade out all your stuff. And
Yeah, I don't want Tootsie Rolls. Come on, trade me.
what was your favorite?
I love just, any kind of candy bar. Uh, and I would even eat stuff I didn't normally like just because it was Halloween candy.
Yeah.
I never really liked anything like, I guess the closest thing now is the candies that are just basically sugar in a shape. I didn't like what I don't remember what they were called, but it was basically you're eating a shape of sugar, and that's all it was, and it had a color. I can't really remember what it was, but I remember I would trade anything for a candy bar, and I lost out a bunch of times because I would do 10 to 1s. I'll give you 10 of this for a candy bar, but
Yep.
I still ended up with so much that it was unhealthy.
Well, yeah, and hopefully it lasts a while too.
Yeah,
Was it Smarties? No, they weren't
yeah,
Smarties.
Smarties. I couldn't stand those.
They're like,
I would give those away for anything.
I loved the vanilla Charleston chews. They still remind me of Halloween.
Oh yeah,
Still to this.
those, yeah. And there were certain candies that I swear you could only find at Halloween. Like you try to find it the rest of the year and it didn't exist, but at Halloween it's like here it goes, it pops up.
Yep. And then there were those. Oh, they were awful. I don't know what they were like. They were wrapped in like black and orange wax paper.
Oh yeah, it was taffy of some kind.
Oh god, I think
Yeah,
they're like
that was like,
or something.
I think that was like what you would buy, or at least I think that's what we bought to like fill up the bowl. It's like, well, we can't get all the good candy, so let's get some of this and mix it up.
A few years, we hardly get any trick-or-treaters in our neighborhood anymore either. And a few years ago, I was like following kids down the street going, I have candy. Like, they're going to call the cops on me or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you shouldn't be chasing children down the street to give candy.
You shouldn't have to.
No, you shouldn't have to. I mean, it's dressed like a witch following the kids around.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever do any like crazy urban exploration or anything on Halloween? Like go to like the creepy places in town and try to get scared and stuff?
I grew up a big majority of my life on a military base. And I don't know how we weren't ever arrested by the military police because we would just go wherever we felt like going. And I ended up in a lot of places that had barbed wire fences around it, or one time we ended up in a swamp and don't know how we got there. But yeah, growing up in a military base was great because it's a built-in community. But all the kids knew each other, and we basically just go wherever we wanted because our parents felt safe because you're on a military base. So it's like, I'm leaving. I'm not coming back till it's nighttime. I'm like, all right, whatever. If you try to do that now, like your parents are like, you can play in this little square and that's it. Like you can't go anywhere. I was like, it's just so different.
I think a lot of people also do Halloween parties now too, so that the kids don't go out and do the trunk or treats and things like that. And
trunk or treats a big thing now. I see those more and more every year.
Yeah, I think that keeps a lot of people home. I mean, this year I was surprised that we actually had some kids coming out, but we had a few, and there were a lot of people got really creative this year with how to distribute candy.
Yeah, I've seen some. I love the chute that somebody made that you could just put it in and it slides down. That was the best thing I saw.
This past year, I had gotten so sick during Halloween because I run my ghost tours, and usually by the time Halloween comes, I'm kind of run down. And I had all the equipment to make a nice chute, and I just never got around to it. But I'll do it for next year.
Yeah, I hope to see a lot of those.
Yeah, me too. I have a comment here from Chris Sumner. Looking at your website now, do you preserve just physical objects, or do you also collect Halloween stories of the past?
I will collect anything. If it's related to Halloween, I want to know about it because, I grew up in a certain area of the country that may have different traditions or stories than someone else. So I always want to hear what, someone else has to say because it's just like, urban myths and, we all heard different things growing up, but they're all fairly related. It may just have a different name. And I love comparing, those stories like, oh, well, you called it this where you live. I call it this. And it's the same thing. How did it make it across the whole country,
Mischief night. What do you call
the
night
exactly.
Before, what do you call the night before Halloween? Do you call it mischief night?
I didn't even know what that was until I got older. I'd never heard of it until probably seeing The Crow.
Really?
That wasn't a thing for us. Like, I looked it up. I was like, what is this mischief night? I was like, oh, it's really a thing that's been going on so long. Like, how did I not know that?
Devil's Night, Mischief Night,
I've heard Devil's Night. I heard Devil's Night more than Mischief Night. but I grew up in the South, so they weren't going to call it Devil's
Yeah,
Night.
probably not.
Yeah, so that
I
got
think
that got taken out of our library.
Otis's comment, Halloweenians unite. I was going to coin a different term and call you a Halloweenologist because it's
I call us Halloweenies.
that too. Yeah. Oh yeah, Goosey Night. Some people call it the night before Goosey Night.
Yeah, see, all that stuff. I want to hear all that. I've never heard any of those things.
Yeah. It's a really interesting concept. Just to go out and like make mischief and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's more like a traditional Halloween, like before they started bribing children with candy.
Yeah. And they a little happy birthday to my sister. Thanks,
Awesome.
Dwayne. Nice to see you. The thing that always bothered me is when people would smash pumpkins and things, because that was another part of it. They'd go around and smash up jack-o'-lanterns, and
Yeah,
that
like
always
the
bugged
little
me.
kid in Trick or Treat.
Yes, you don't smash a jack-o'-lantern.
See what happened to him.
Come on. We got another. Otis says it wasn't a thing for me either. Every night was mischief night. That's good. That's a good time.
Yeah.
So we did talk a little bit about favorite movies, but what is your favorite horror movie?
Favorite horror movie is The Omen, easily. I'm not a big church person, but I love movies about religion. I don't know why, but
Interesting.
The Omen's been one of those things that I've loved it since the first time I saw it. I love the music. I mean, a movie with a creepy kid's always good to me. So, I love all of them. Like, I own original posters of all four movies. I even count the fourth one, which nobody even acknowledges. But
I forgot that there was a fourth one.
yeah, the fourth one is the one that nobody ever wants to talk about. But I love all of them. The first one's obviously the best to me, but I really like the way they progressed the story, and it was really creepy, and
Yeah.
it just something about it that got to me. It's like, man, this movie's so good.
Do you have well, obviously The Omen's a little bit different, but do you have like a preferred genre of movie that you like?
I actually grew up watching old 50s movies with my grandparents.
Yeah, those are
We
good.
used to always have to go to my grandparents in the summer, so I grew up watching wrestling and soap operas and whatever TBS showed. So one of my favorite actors of all time is um, the movies, like the gangster movies. So I loved James Cagney, and I loved Edward G. Robinson, and anything that they were in, I would watch. And then, it blew my mind when I saw James Cagney in a musical. I was like, man, this guy's really a good actor. Like, I just thought he was just some thug guy, but
They don't make them like that anymore.
no, he's wonderful. But yeah, I grew up watching all that old stuff. I love Marilyn Monroe movies. I love, anything 50s I'll watch.
Interesting. I love the like the Hammer horror years, like all of that good stuff.
Those look so good.
Yeah, like the atmosphere is just fantastic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ray says that there seems to be one house in town that had creepy people who acted like the Addams Family. I aspire to be that house in town.
That's me. That's my family in our town. Our house is black, so
Excellent.
black with orange doors. So we are the Addams Family. We're in my town.
So that brings me to another question I have for you. Are you Team Addams or Team Munster?
I like them both. I'm more of an Addams Family because I love just the characters, and I love the relationship that they have with each other. But the Munsters was always fun for me. But if I had to choose, I would be Addams Family easy. I just love
definitely
everything about them.
Definitely.
Like, it's one of the most positive role models for a husband and wife of anything I've ever seen. And it doesn't get enough credit for that.
Absolutely. Real quick before we go to break, I'm going to just talk about Miranda's question here. What's your favorite vintage piece you've collected?
So far, I've always wanted to own an original copy of Ruth Edna Kelly's book. She wrote the very first book, like full book on Halloween, and I finally bit the bullet and bought one. And I can't believe I have it. It's 100 years old now, and I'm scared to really touch it, but I have it. So yeah, I read it. My wife bought me a copy of like a reprint of it because she's like, I know you're not going to read the one you bought, but there's this one. You can at least read it. It's exactly the same. I was like, all right, awesome.
Oh, that's cool. That's love.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a real quick break, and we'll be right back. About 3 minutes. So you got some time if you need to get a drink.
All right.
We'll be right back.
WLFE Digital Broadcast Network is on TV. You can watch all of our shows on WLFE-DB.com. Check out our channels: Paranormal View for all of your paranormal type shows, LGBTQ Friends for all of our LGBTQ shows, Variety Unlimited for all other shows. It runs 24/7 right on WLFE-DB.com. You'll even catch the lives, all in one place. Never miss an episode, past or future. WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows. Search for your favorite shows like Where's My Sage, Inside the Drag Closet, Across the Pond, Everything Yet Nothing, Paratalk Radio, Step into the Paranormal, The Creepy Parlor, Just Cindy, and more. Now you won't miss an episode. Remember, follow Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Make sure you subscribe and follow your favorite WLFE-DB radio shows. You can find our shows where you listen to your favorite podcasts, like Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and more. WLFE-DB Radio is looking for podcasts to join our family. You don't have to fit any strict genre. We're a plethora of shows. If you're looking to jump on a growing network, then contact us at WLFEDBradio@gmail.com.
Wow, Amazon Music just got a whole lot better. Your favorite shows from WLFE-DB Radio can now be found there. Yes, we are on Amazon Music, found under podcasts. Download the app, find podcasts, and search all of your favorite shows. Shows like Where's My Sage, Across the Pond, Everything Yet Nothing, Skeptical Help Bar, The Creepy Parlor, Just Cindy, and much more. Now you don't have to miss an episode ever. Amazon Music is WLFE-DB Radiofied.
More from WLFE-DB Radio Network after this.
Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Bree, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area at 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
Oh, yeah. Life just got sweeter now that WLFE-DB has merchandise. Show your support by purchasing your t-shirts for WLFE, Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and more. But it doesn't stop there. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tanks, buttons, cloth bags, and more. Go to WLFE-DB.com. On the top bar, click on the merchandise tab and bam, there you go. You got merch. Support the shows. WLFE-DB.com. You're listening to WLFE-DB Radio. Now, back to our program.
And just like that, we're halfway done.
That's fast.
It is fast. I just want to say thank you to all you guys for all of the many, many, many comments that are coming up. Everyone seems really interested. There's a, how dare you try to make someone choose? I'm guessing that's Adams versus Munster.
Yeah, that's not fair.
I know. There's nothing like a hand running around the house. That's true. And I mean, Cousin It. How could you not love Cousin It?
Yeah, he just passed away. The guy that
I
was his actor.
know.
Yeah.
I know. Have you ever met any of your like horror or Halloween idols? Did you ever have one?
Yes, I've met a few. Because what I do for my day job, I get to meet a lot of celebrities, which is fun. I've met some of the Jasons.
Some of the Jasons.
Yeah, there's not all of them. I've met some of them. I've met, uh, just I can't name one person that I've wanted to meet, except I was gonna meet Harvey Stevens, who played Damien in The Omen, but then my wife and I bought tickets. Well, actually, she bought tickets for me, and then I found out she was pregnant, so we had to cancel the trip. So I'm not disappointed, but that was probably the only chance I would have gotten to meet him. So every now and then I kind of tease her about it, but it was one of those things. I'll maybe eventually get to meet him, but I probably have met more people than I can remember, which sounds crazy, but it's a lot of fun.
We were at a convention a bunch of years ago, and one of my favorite movies is Hellraiser.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, I hear the voice, and I didn't realize that he was going to be there. And I
That's
got
great.
like you get like the goosebumps going up the back of your neck, and I was like, "Oh no, Pinhead's here!"
Yeah. He's so nice. He's one of the nicest guys.
Yeah, he really
It's
is.
crazy. I met Gunnar Hansen. I was happy I met him right before he passed away. Leatherface, and all those guys are so nice. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
You just there's a misconception that people that like the stuff we do are something's wrong with us, but you couldn't meet the nicer group of people.
it's true, and very supportive, and we all pretty
Oh
much
yeah.
have a common interest already.
Yep, exactly. It's like you're built-in friends.
Yep. What do you think it is about Halloween that like kind of draws people in?
I mean, there's so much about it that you can like. I mean, some people just like the history of it, and some people just like, dressing up. Some people just like the candy. I mean, let's be honest.
It's all good things.
But yeah, I mean, there's not really anything negative about Halloween, really. I mean, the media tries to bring up a lot of things that aren't true, but
Yeah.
there's not really anything that, bad about it. Even the stuff they always try to bring up for so long is, people trying to poison candy and all that. There's a professor, Joel Best. He's every year he researches all that, and like none of it's ever been proven true. Like it's not ever directly related to Halloween. It's like just a happenstance. So I just think, I mean, what can you not like about it? I mean, even the colors that are associated with Halloween are awesome, black and orange. So
Now we've like kind of snuck purple into it too, which makes
oh yeah, I'm excited about the purple edition because it just fits.
yeah, and then like that really cool green is really
Yeah, it's like those add a little flavor and royalty, a little.
I was kind of waiting on this comment, but I figured maybe we can bring it up now. Chris's comment here, you may mention it later, but can you tell us about the Preserve Halloween Festival?
Yes.
I'll give you enough time to talk about that.
I decided, I do conventions for a living, and I've never really done anything geared towards Halloween. So I figured, why not try it? I've kind of built up the Preservation Society for the past few years, and I've wanted to do an event that's geared towards Halloween for a while, but I wanted to wait until I felt, comfortable about it. So why not announce one in the middle of a pandemic, So, I picked a place I love. I love visiting Texas. I love going there. I have friends there. My daughter goes to book camp in Texas. So we love visiting Texas anyway. And I picked it because it's kind of, the centralized place. And it's close to where I live. So it's easier for me to kind of, I don't want to start out the first year and be crazy and try to do too much because then I'll never do another one. So
Yep.
I built up a really good relationship with a lot of people doing conventions, and I reached out to some of people I've met through the Halloween stuff I do, and I'm gonna reach out to some of the people I've met, doing just Comic Cons and things like that. But I'll go ahead and give you people here listening the first sneak peek. The first guest I booked for the festival is Lisa Morton, who wrote the Halloween Encyclopedia. She's a wonderful author, multiple Bram Stoker Award winner. She is on, if you watch any specials on History Channel or anything about Halloween, she's in it doing an interview. So I'm really excited about her coming. And all the guests that I'm going to be bringing in are going to be, focused on Halloween in some way. Because, like we discussed, there are horror shows, and I love horror, but this is going to be a Halloween-centric event. I really want to put out Halloween history and Halloween, I'm even planning on trick-or-treating at the event. All the vendors are going to get, if you sign up to be a vendor at my show, I'm going to give you a pumpkin pie and candy because you're going to pass out candy. So I want people to come. Yeah, I want people to come dressed up. I want people to have fun. Basically, it's 3 weeks after Halloween. It's the week before Thanksgiving. So all of us who are sad about Halloween being over, let's do it again a couple weeks later.
And the most important part to me is that it's over my birthday. So nice. I think that's a sign. I think I need to go.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard a few of those. It's on my birthday. I'm like, oh, well, that's why I did it.
a lot of us Scorpios like Halloween. It's a weird connection. I love that artwork. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, Austin Pardon is a wonderful artist. I'm working on trying to get him down there because he everything he does is great. Like, he designed that for me. He's done a couple other designs for me. His artwork's all over a ton of T-shirts that I've seen. It's like everything he does is just ridiculous. It's so good.
Real quick before we get into Miranda's comment, Ted says that you're awesome. Ted is our program manager here.
Oh, nice. Hello. Nice to meet you.
So Miranda has a good question. What type of vendors are you having?
Well, I know that I'm going to get a lot of applications from vendors, horror related and things like that. I'm going to be the one that chooses who vends there. I do want to have a good variety. I want artists. I want, people that make stuff. I'm hoping to get some mask makers and, cool. I'm trying to pull in every aspect of Halloween that there is, because I want everything there. I mean, I literally want you to walk in and just explode Halloween, like I want it to be like, it's basically like the best place for anybody that loves Halloween. That's my goal. Mm-hmm. And I'm one of those people that when I go into something, I go into it like ridiculously, like 100%. So I'm hoping that the guests are people that everybody wants to meet and talk to. But I'm also, I want to bring in historians and people that can give history, talks. There are going to be panels about Halloween and
Halloweenology.
I have some friends that are mask makers. I'm hoping I can bring them in and kind of go over what they do mask wise. And I'm hoping that I can get some of the I just blanked. Historical societies. Like, mm-hmm. I'm in talks with the people who run, have affiliation with Denison, and I'm hoping to get, maybe Beazle or, some of the traditional makers of Halloween products. Maybe somebody I can get from there. And I'm planning on doing it again. So whatever I don't get this year, I'm going to take notes, and whatever people tell me, all right, well, you're missing this. It's like, it's going in my notebook, and I'm going to try to do it again the next time because I want this to become an annual thing.
Ted says the witches should pay attention. The World Witches Dance should go there. That would be fun.
That sounds fun.
What was I going to ask you about that? Do you plan on always having it in Texas, or have you not gotten that far?
I don't know. I've been told like to move it around, which, in theory, I would love to, but there are a lot of factors that involve moving a convention around.
Oh yeah.
Some places are less expensive than others. Some places are just easier to get people to go to. One of the other reasons I chose Dallas is because a flight to the DFW is easy.
Yeah.
Like I think from anywhere in the United States, it's a straight shot. There's no stop. So
I did look at flights today. I was like, let me see if I can go to this.
yeah, that's the first thing I did was like, all right, I know all these people and this is where they live. How much is the flight's going to cost? And it was like, oh, DFW is pretty good. So, yeah, because I mean, I'm getting people from across the country. So, I'm hoping it turns out the way I have it in my head, because I'm kind of a perfectionist and I want it to be fun for everybody. And like I'm gonna be a nervous wreck the whole time, hoping that people are having fun.
Well, I hope that you take some time to enjoy it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's one of the things. Like at a show like this, there's more time for me to kind of walk around and say hello to everybody. And I've been to horror shows and I know some of the things people love, like karaoke, and I'm hoping that maybe I can plan a movie screening or just some after hours stuff that'll keep people having fun, as long as possible. Because I want it to be a good event. I want it to be worth people coming, and I want it, I want to give people the value for being there. So I've got a lot of stuff planned, and one of the things that I'm trying to figure out the logistics on is pumpkin carving. I basically want everybody to be able to carve a pumpkin and leave it outside and light them all at once and just take this crazy awesome picture. Yeah, like we were talking about yesterday.
Yep.
But this venue is really neat. The exterior of it's all glass, so like if we did a pumpkin lighting, you could see it for pretty far. So
that's cool.
It would be really neat. Yeah. So
some local garden clubs or something would want to get in on that.
Yeah, I interviewed a lady her name's Sarah Fry. She owns a farm that they grow the most pumpkins out of any place in the world. So I'm going to talk to her and see. It's like, hey, you got anybody in Dallas I could buy a bunch of pumpkins from? Because like I want to have a ton of it. I want like that's the stuff I want to do is like traditional things like carve a pumpkin or trick or treating. I mean, simple things like that. There's going to be kids there that have never trick or treated, which blows my mind.
And things that we're kind of losing touch with, like you have all these fake pumpkins now. You have like the artificial ones that you can carve. It's not the same.
Yeah, I want you to make a mess and get sticky.
Yes.
And then give me all the seeds because I want all the pumpkins in my yard.
and then have like that burning smell when you light the candle, that pumpkin burning smell.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna post up the flyer again real quick because I think it's just so cool.
Oh yeah, Austin's artwork's so good.
Yeah, that it really is. It's amazing.
And it's just reminds me so much of vintage Halloween and like traditional. It's it's amazing.
Yep. Guys, you can see the banner below, www.preservehalloween.com. Please go check that out. You can also find Gregory on Facebook, Halloween Preservation Society. Please go there, like, follow, and share. And while you're at it, like, follow, and share us on WLFEDB, please. Oh yeah, Bob for apples.
Oh yeah, I mean anything that I can do that the security or the safety people aren't going to tell me to. Like, no, you can't do that. Then I'm going to, go. I have a bunch of old party books from the 20s and 30s. I might even try to do that. Like, you can find your significant other, all that weird stuff they used to do for Halloween. Like, do that,
Yep. Ted says we can post that on the website. So we'll post that up for you.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you.
Legend of the Headless Horseman. We live not too far from Sleepy Hollow, New York. We're about an hour away. And they have an actual Headless Horseman whole event.
Yeah. I know a lady named Danny who lives in Terrytown, and she has amazing knowledge of the history of Halloween. Like she's so good, because she gets to visit the cemeteries and she knows the history, and she lives in the town, so it's like it's kind of one of those things, and she loves it too. So it's fun to meet people that are so into what they like that they want to share it with other people.
Yep. That's how I feel about my ghost tours. I love
yeah.
I love scaring people. I love sharing it. And I love the type of creepiness like that, like not the jump scares. I love
Mhm.
like the subtle, like get in your brain kind of weird, creepy.
You like Ty West creepy. Slow burns.
Yep. Like I loved the Blind Manor series. Everyone else thought it was too slow. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
Ashley here says the Preserve Halloween podcast is pretty cool too. Do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, I started a podcast this year because I wasn't doing any shows, so I needed something to, you know, have an outlet basically. So I started just a podcast, and we discussed this earlier. For someone who hates the way I sound, a podcast seems like torture, but it gives me an outlet to do research and kind of share the things I learned, because sometimes with what we do, we just assume everybody knows what we know. But
Yeah, that's true.
the more I do this, the more I realize like there's so much stuff that I can share with people that they may not realize, or they may have forgotten, or they may just want to learn more about. So I try to do it really short. They're like 15, 20 minutes. And uh it's I do it weekly, and it's just fun. So it's like this, I just sit and talk and ramble, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, I've been talking for 15 minutes, I need to stop. So,
It's fun. It's a good outlet, and I think that a lot of people being in quarantine and stuff like that has really led to a lot of different creative
oh,
stuff.
definitely, I've seen so much creativity.
Ted is our program manager. Ted is saying bring him to WLFE DB radio, so we can talk about that later. It's always good when people want you there, right?
Oh, hey, that's awesome. It's good to be wanted.
Absolutely. So we do have Gregory's website running on the bottom, and that has links to all of his social media, all the upcoming events and stuff. So that's really like the one-stop shop to find out everything, right?
That's it. Try to make it easy.
Try to make it easy. All one-stop shop for Halloween. And you've got memberships people can sign up to be members of the Halloween Preservation Society.
Yeah, I sell yearly memberships, $31, because 31's a good number. Yeah, and it's kind of basically it's a community thing. I want people to be involved, and I want to hear feedback, and I kind of have a sounding board. We're like, hey, I want to try this. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
And I know the people that have signed up love Halloween too, so it's a good diverse group of people to ask questions and get really good feedback, because I want to hear what they have to say, and it's good to have that. But yeah, that link's also on the website too. Like I said, I try to make the website be just a hub of everything. Like
Yep.
it's where you can go and get everything you want. And if you're on the Facebook page, there's a link tree that also has all the same links. So I mean, I tried to make it as easy as possible for people to find the things that I do, because there's so much out there. You can kind of get lost.
Yeah, and this is an important thing to get out there.
Yeah, I hope so.
Important. Absolutely. I don't know if you saw that last comment. Ted was asking if we can link that on the website, so we'll cross post all that stuff for you.
Awesome.
If you want us to.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
So we only have a few more minutes left. Do you have anything that you want to touch on that we missed?
Basically just, I want people not to be afraid to ask me questions. I always try to make it be like, I don't want to come off as any kind of authority. I'm just a guy that likes Halloween. And I happen to, hey, there's not a preservation society for this, so I'll just do it. And then, that's where I'm at now. It's I'm doing this. I love it. I hope that I can continue to do it. I hope my kids will want to take over for me when I get too old to do it. I kind of told them they have to. I said, you have to. It's your last name. You kind of have to do this. Like,
Yeah.
It's not. You can't avoid it. It's like, you find out you're going to, Hogwarts. You have to do it. You can't escape it.
Yes, you don't have a choice.
That's right. It's your destiny.
Your destiny. Yep. Hi, Tom. Hi, Little Bit. I mean, Ashley, Halloween is beautiful and needs to be preserved. I agree 100%.
Yes.
I'm I'm like I go to the Halloween stores and I'm just like, this is it.
Yeah,
Everything I need.
I have to give myself like a limit, or I'll just buy everything.
Hmm.
And
And
I'm
I
gonna run
remember,
out of room sometime. I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna
yeah.
do with
Well,
all this
then you
stuff.
need a museum.
Like, yeah, that's the plan.
I remember being like, 10, 15 years ago where you had to buy everything all at once at Halloween because that was it.
Yeah, that was all you're
Now,
gonna see.
yeah,
Mhm.
now you can pretty much find stuff all year round, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great that there's people that do this all year, and you can find products like handmade and really great stuff.
Have you ever done anything like really spectacular on any Halloweens? Like I went to New Orleans one year for Halloween and that was awesome.
Yeah, I because I live so close to New Orleans, like it's one of those things I like to go when it's not Halloween,
Yeah,
because it's basically it's the same all year round. But
yeah, it's my favorite place.
I really want to do a full out haunted house one year, like
Hmm.
get a property and just deck it out and make it to where people can come, because where we live there's so much open space that there are a lot of people around here that like turn their farms into haunted houses, and it's
Oh, that's cool.
it's so much room that they could do pretty much whatever they want. So yeah, I really want to do that one year, but so far I haven't.
Do you find that I know I run into this sometimes, that you get so focused on doing things for Halloween for other like for me it's for my ghost tours. I get so focused on doing all the tours that I kind of miss out a little bit on Halloween.
Well, to me it's one of those gasp things. Like, I start decorating Halloween on my birthday in August, and I keep everything up until almost Thanksgiving. But Halloween itself kind of feels almost like a letdown sometimes, because you have this crazy buildup, and then Halloween comes and there aren't any trick-or-treaters and there aren't any. But the good thing is there's so much online now, you can kind of just hang out with people online and kind of do it yourself.
That's true.
um, there's always some kind of event online, and now people are doing halfway to Halloween's a big thing now. And
Yep, we're doing
I
it.
know I'm going to say it wrong, but there's actually a real what is it, Walpurgisnacht or something like that,
Hmm.
where they celebrate. Well, I don't know if it's a great celebration because it was people trying to get rid of witches, but uh, it's celebrated big time, still, and that's I mean, that's basically halfway to Halloween. They're doing that all over the country, or all over, Europe and things like that. So,
Hmm.
there are a ton of. That's one of the things I do on the podcast. I try to research other places and other like events that are kind of related to Halloween, but not really, and kind of uh, relate to how they come from a lot of the same backgrounds. Like, a lot of stuff is basically religious people not liking things, so they create something, and then you know uh, or it's
Yep.
the response to that, or it's Christians trying to change pagan traditional holidays into something
Hmm.
they like. So I mean, that's mostly what the history is.
Yeah.
So I love researching all that, because I find probably 20 different answers to the same question, and
Hmm.
it's fun trying to figure out which one's right, or are they all right,
They're
or
all
who
right.
knows,
Yeah.
because it's whoever wrote the book says it's right.
Yep.
So there's never going to be a definitive history of anything, because it depends on who you ask.
Yep. It's all perspective, right?
Yeah, so that's the fun part for me, because that means I'm never going to stop learning, and I'll never find everything I need to
It's
find,
true.
because there's always something else.
Yep. We only have a few minutes left, but do you have any special Halloween traditions of your own that you like to keep alive?
I generally, now lately, I've pulled out like old horror stories that M.R. James and things like that kind of start Christmas. They became Christmas like horror stories, I guess. But I like reading stuff like that, and I generally do a 60 days to Halloween like movie list, where I list 60 movies you should watch. And it's really hard for me because, like I said, I'm really stickler for, this is not a Halloween movie, this is a horror movie. But I've kind of let up on that because I want some of these movies to get watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, Worst Witch is one of them, actually,
Hmm.
because that song in Worst Witch is the greatest song ever. Uh, Like, it's just amazing. So, but yeah, there's stuff like that. I watch a lot of the same movies. I try to get a routine. I carve pumpkins at a certain time, and you know, starting last year, I started growing my own pumpkins, so that's become sort of a tradition. Like, after we did our pumpkin carving party, I threw all my seeds in the yard, and then I came back and there's pumpkins everywhere. I'm like, how did this happen? I didn't do anything. So
have you ever tried to carve a turnip?
No, but I carved last year. I carved a what fruit was it? I carved some kind of fruit, and it turned out awesome. So I'm going to do that again. I think it was a grapefruit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I carved a grapefruit, and it looked awesome for about a day, and then it just wilted. But
yeah,
it was a really neat picture because I've carved watermelons. I've carved, you know, any kind of fruit that has some kind of substance on the outside.
Yeah,
it'll hold up decently, but you can't beat a pumpkin.
You can't. You absolutely can't. And turnips are really hard to scrape out.
Yeah, turnip just sounds like carving a rock.
Well, that's what they started with. That's what they used to use in Ireland.
Yeah, so like, have fun with that, man.
It's hard, and I'm like, the whole time I'm thinking I'm going to cut my hand off. I'm going to do something really stupid.
That's what scares me. I'm going to hurt myself.
Yep. Well, we only have like a minute or two left, so I just want to remind everybody to please check out preservehalloween.com. I'm going to put up your flyer again real quick.
Awesome. Thank you.
Check out the Preserve Halloween Festival. It's cutting off on the bottom. Sorry about that. But check out Gregory's page, his Facebook page. Follow him over there. We're going to cross-post a lot of this stuff over on the Creepy Parlor. So please keep an eye out. And as you post updates, I'll happily cross-post and let everybody know.
Thank you.
All about the cause.
Awesome. That's great.
So we're just about out of time. You have any final words for us?
Like I always end my podcast, I want everyone to have fun with this and just keep preserving Halloween.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you all guys for watching. We had so many great comments and so much good interaction tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope that you had as much fun as we did. I know I certainly had a great time.
Definitely. It's already done. Let's keep going.
I know. We only have 2 minutes. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining in tonight. Don't forget to check us out on WLFE-DB.com. You can watch us on our TV, on our Stream TV channel. You can binge watch us there too, which is pretty cool. You can also check me out on Psychomantium 13 and Psycho Bunny DC and all of those PBDC TV. I can never say it, and they always laugh at me. Check out, there's a lot of good content there, and there's a lot of great stuff on WLFE-DB as well. Stay tuned here. Where's My Sage is up next. And just so you guys know, next week, what's coming up on the Creepy Parlor, I've got Jason Cottam, who is a fellow WLFE-DB host. We're going to be talking about the history of Dungeons and Dragons and the satanic panic of the 80s. And I'm so excited about that. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, that's a great like story.
Yeah, that's a good time. So with that, I do have to end for the evening. Thank you everyone for joining in tonight. Thank you, Gregory, for being here. Everybody, please, again, check out his page, check out his website, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for joining us on the Creepy Parlor. Join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for another fantastic show.